Brace yourself, sports and music fans, because every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Arizona time is go time. Introducing one of the hottest, most entertaining, and downright addictive podcasts you'll ever need. PD&J was good today. Hosted by none other than J-Dub the King and Pocket. These two dynamic personalities will keep you on the edge of your seat with their unique blend of humor, storytelling, and knowledge of sports and entertainment. And you know what makes it even better? They're live on YouTube and Facebook, so you can join the conversation and be a part of the action. We're always on the lookout for awesome guests to join us on the show. So if you think you've got what it takes to hang out with J-Dub the King and Pocket, then slide into our inbox at J-Dub the King. That's JDUBBTHAKING. And let's make some magic together. So what are you waiting for? You don't want to miss a single episode. See you on Wednesday.
What's good, folks? Welcome to a brand new episode. Brand new week, brand new Wednesday. You already know what that means. Brand new episode, PD&J. What's good today? I'm your host, Jay.
Please come on. I got beans and bologna. Oh, I'm sorry.
We said we wasn't going to do that.
My bad. Well, greens, beans, potatoes, tomatoes. Oh, wait.
It's that season.
Is it? Couple weeks, we all going to be too fat to be alive.
Well, folks, I'm glad that you're joining us here today. I hope your past week has been blessed and fruitful. I know mine has been.
Fruit?
Full
of fruit.
Of fruit. That's full.
I just want my beans and bologna. I don't even eat that.
Anyway, shout out to everybody that's tuning in. Let's get right on into it, folks. Pocket, what's been going on with you?
I would like to say same stuff, different day, but that's not exactly true. What we're going to say is well, you know what? What did the title say? What did the title say? What did the title say?
Veterans Day edition.
Exactly, Veterans Day edition. So shout out to all the vets, alive or not alive. This one's for you. This show's all about you all. But personally, you know what? Just been trying to get to the holiday, man. Just get there.
Yeah. I'm ready for next week already. Or not next year. I'm ready for next year already.
I don't know if I'm ready for next year, but I'm ready to see all the interesting eats of this Thanksgiving compared to all the other ones. And we'll see what happens there. As we know, always Thanksgiving is always good stuff. Always good stuff. But you know what, folks? Let's get into it. Let's not be doom and gloom. Let's get into this show. That's what we're here to do. First thing first.
Bob, you lost us for a second. No, we're still here. First things first, what we're going to do is, like the title said, is our Veterans Day show, but we kind of want to put a little bit of a spin on it.
Because you know what? A lot of the homeless that we see, a lot of the mentally disturbed folks we see are former vets. And in saying that, you know, it's a lot of people like, well, they're vets. They can get all the help they need.
Can they?
Can they? Do you understand? Just because you're not a vet and you think they have more access to things than you, do you know why most of them don't have it? It's not because they don't want it. They really don't know. You act like it's not like when you, for instance, like some big companies, they tell you, you know, through HR your first day, oh, you know what you get, you know, we got discounts for tickets and discounts for this and this and this with all these agreements. It doesn't work the same way for vets. It really doesn't. You don't have somebody telling you that information. It's really, you know, you don't get the actual notification of all that. You don't get, nobody really helps you.
And just to piggyback a little bit off of what you're saying now, it's not like they don't want to help you. A lot of veterans don't know that the help is there, if that makes sense. But on the flip side of it, if you're in a industry line and your job is to service the veterans and you're giving them attitude and you're giving them this and you're giving them that, please get out, find a different service
Actually,
industry.
take that one more. There's a lot of people in the service industry, period, not just dealing with vets.
Well, I'm talking about if you work for, I'm talking specifically since it's Veterans Day, if you work for an organization that is tailored to the clientele of veterans, right? But you don't necessarily enjoy your job. It's just a job to you. Please get out of that field because you're not doing anybody a service and you're damn sure not doing yourself a service.
So you're telling everybody to go home.
If you don't, should get off the pot, man. They deserve better. They deserve better.
Now, I will say there are some that okay, so here's another thing I want to talk about when it comes to veterans. There is these guys and girls out there that go buy the uniforms from the surplus stores and try to take full advantage of what the veterans get. And we know you, we see you, and we know you're not vets. You know, people, you'll have certain patches on there that you probably got online, not knowing what the patch means. Like I think it was one where somebody had a Purple Heart. They were way too young to have a Purple Heart. And what I mean by that is we may have been 19 or 20 years old. So where did you go to get a Purple Heart? What conflict were you a part of that got you a Purple Heart? And people ask you that. And then they'll look, yeah, okay, no, take it off. There's been incidents where veterans that were pissed off, and a lot of them were bikers, they'll tell the person, strip down, take everything off. What I don't know to put on ain't my fault. I don't want to hear it. Take it off. You're desecrating, served. Like people just take full advantage of that. So you want to talk about the ones that don't want to work. I'm talking about the other ones, the ones that sit there, they take advantage of it, period. Don't let me catch you. It won't be pretty. Don't let me catch you, please. I saw a guy in the airport one time. I forgot where my wife and I were going. And he was too young to be wearing a Vietnam veteran hat. It literally said Vietnam veteran. So you should not be wearing that hat.
Maybe he just got it out the store and liked the hat.
When you have a Vietnam veteran hat, you just can't go to any store and get it. You go to specific stores. Not everybody sells that type of stuff.
True.
For a good reason, because they know what will happen. So now, another thing that can happen.
Seem like they can't get it though. You can get it.
No, I never said they couldn't get it. Yeah. Just like I just said, the people wearing the uniform that were never served, they can get it too at a surplus store. I never said nobody couldn't get it. What I'm saying is, if you have that hat on, you better have a very specific reason why you got it on. Oh, it was my grandfather's hat. Okay. Oh, it was my uncle's hat. That makes sense to me. But don't sit there and try and wear it.
Well, that's their way of supporting the armed forces.
Okay. I'm just gonna leave it alone. That's just nothing. That doesn't deserve. I just told you. It says Vietnam veteran. It doesn't say support of Vietnam. It says Vietnam veteran. That means you served in Vietnam.
Some people are just that mentally blocked.
They're not that mentally blocked. They're just dumb.
Okay.
You want to tell me they're mentally blocked? They're just dumb. Because somewhere along the line, somebody told them not to wear that hat.
Maybe not.
Okay, you take it like that. Now you're going down a road that I am not going to take with you. I'm not going to play that advocate on that one. There's no way somebody. Yeah, you can be stupid and put the hat on, but you're not dumb. What I mean by stupid is you shouldn't be wearing it because of what it says.
Some people don't think about it like that. That's what I'm trying to say.
And I've already told you.
Prime example. I've been homeless before. There's a lot of stuff that's donated. I've seen people like when around our age that was not in the Vietnam War or the Korean War, right? But they have hats or a t-shirt. They're wrong for wearing that, especially if it was donated to them.
I already told you they were.
Okay.
So if I have to keep repeating myself, I'll just
look at it.
I'll make it a sign and I'll hold it up for you.
Okay.
You can look at it differently all you want, but it's still a slap in the face for the actual veterans that served in Vietnam. the ones that sacrificed for a war that we should not have been in. Or better yet, another one that was funny to me, which I know the guy had a relative that served, was wearing a World War II hat. And he said, man, I'm only wearing this to for my grandfather or my great grandfather or what it was. It's like, I understand. I honor that. Like, I implore you for that. Thank you. Like that shows me that you actually know you aren't supposed to be wearing that if you were not representing for someone in your family. Those of you that, and here's another thing, those of you that donate your old fatigues, that's okay to do, but take your name tags off. You're supposed to do that. You're supposed to do. There's so much I can go down. There's a list of stuff that you're supposed to do that people don't do. Like they leave their ranks on. They leave their insignias on. You're supposed to take that stuff off before you trade it in. Surplus stores are supposed to tell you that too. They're not supposed to take it with that name tag on there, but they don't care because guess what? They know somebody's gonna buy it.
Mm-hmm. And they're not going to take it off either.
No, they're not. No, they're not. And I've seen somebody got embarrassed. A woman got embarrassed because of that. She didn't know. I didn't know. It's like, really? You didn't know? No, I didn't. But her mistake was she said, I was only told by my friend she didn't think I should be wearing that. So her ignorance was she didn't want to listen. Now, if you want to say that they don't want to listen, I'll agree with that. But don't sit there and tell me they're just being dumb and stupid.
Some people are just dumb and stupid. Let's just face the facts. There's dumb and stupid people that's out there that really just don't know, that are blind. Just like there's a culture out there that doesn't believe that racism still exists. We're saying that they're dumb and stupid, right?
No, we're saying they're ignorant. The difference.
They
don't want to, because here's the thing. You just said everybody's telling them that, right? But they're not listening. That means they're ignorant. So therefore, you're trying to tell somebody's wearing something that says Vietnam veteran. That would mean somebody's told them that they shouldn't be wearing it, and they're still wearing it. If you want to make the actual comparison of what you're doing, that's what you're saying. You're saying somebody's already told them that, and they're still wearing it.
Well, like I said, that's on them for being stupid and ignorant. They're both, in my opinion. It's not one or the other. They're both. You're stupid and ignorant. If you are dumb enough to believe that, okay, this doesn't exist or this isn't happening, but yet you're ignorant enough to not want to listen to it, you're both. Really.
Now that I can agree with.
And correct, common sense ain't that common. So a lot of people that think they got common sense or it's okay for them to wear it.
They got change, but they don't have sense.
I'm not going there with you. But all I'm saying is that there are people that's out there that fake the funk. There's no doubt about that. There are some people that truly want to support the military but could not join or enlist into the military that want to be able to show support. And just like you got extremists on everything that you do, maybe that's their way of saying, hey, I support you guys this hard that I'm going to rock this memorabilia. But in your opinion, that's wrong.
It's not memorabilia.
Okay. Some people might take it.
Again, it says Vietnam veteran. Only people that wear are supposed to be Vietnam veterans or their family members as it's passed down. Now, in the case of, here's where that doesn't make any sense. I want to support, so I'm going to wear something that says Vietnam veteran. If they're going to wear something like that, that's not, they know themselves you're not going to wear that to support. What you're going to do if you're going to support, you'll get something, say, fan of or support of, or like the stickers we see on cars. My son is, or my son served, or my father served on their cars. It doesn't say USMC vet. It says my son served, so-and-so served. I am a fan of. I am a support of. It doesn't say Vietnam vet. You can't go to a DMV and get a Vietnam vet plate.
So what do you tell the people that's donating their clothes to certain like Salvation Army or Goodwill or what is it, St. Vincent de Paul or you know what I'm getting at? Like, what would you tell those veterans that's donating that stuff?
So here's the thing: a lot of times it's not the veteran. You gotta
it's
remember,
the family of the
veteran. That's where you're wrong. The veteran's not going to get rid of it because they know what it means to them.
Certain veterans would.
Here's where the family comes into play. If they're donating it, it's because one, they want to get rid of the stuff. They reminds them of the person or something like that. So they're going to donate it. Fine. But my whole thing is you should not be donating it there. Take it to the surplus spot that knows what to do with it.
But the surplus store is going to sell anything to anybody.
Not necessarily. I thought that too, but
you don't think so?
No, they don't. No, they don't, because they know the ramifications of doing the wrong thing. Now, some of them, I will get there. There are some few out there that are just flat out grimy.
I know of one of them. Yeah,
and there's some out there that's grimy and shady, and they will they will sell you something that says from World War II, and it has never seen combat. So you know what I'm saying? They will sell you something for a god awful amount of money, saying it's this, and it's not even what that it is. It's not even what it is. It happens, right? It's very common to happen. So for every good egg, there's a bad one in the bunch. We know that. But at the same time, if you're doing the right thing, it shouldn't matter what happens after what you've done right, and you know you've done right. It shouldn't really matter the aftermath of what they decide to do, because it's going to come back on them. Now, as far as serving another thing I liked about the veterans that people always talk about, I think we'll talk about this, about how the biggest gang in the world
is the U.S. government.
I wouldn't say that, because the military outnumbers the government. If they were to just think, you know what, screw it.
Well, when I say our U.S. government, I'm including the military into that.
I don't.
You don't? Okay. Do you get paid by the government?
Nope. Now, I want to say, why don't they get paid by the government, right? Because when they shut down, everything shuts down for them.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean the government's cutting a check. You ever look at the checks?
Pay slips, yeah. What's crazy though is you find so many private entities, right?
Oh, I'm sorry, I never answered your question. Well, let me say this real quick. Reason why I know they don't get paid by the government, because they pay taxes. If they got paid by the government, they wouldn't be paying taxes. Do senators pay tax? Does the president pay tax? Does the vice president? Does the governor? Does any state official, any government official pay tax? No, they don't.
But if you're a government employee, you do pay taxes, though.
Because the government's not the ones paying you.
But you're a government employee.
Right, you're a government employee, but the government's not paying you. And
that's what I was about to get at. It's funny to me how you have all these private entities, right? They're all private entities. They have their own EIN number, their own business code, their own business model. Everything is their own, right? But they're government regulated. They're under the government's umbrella. They're government contract. But you mean to tell me that the government ain't paying them? Bullshit. They got to get that money from somewhere. The government's giving that money out to that whatever entity it is, but it's the entity that's paying them, the employees, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
The government's borrowing so much money to give away. Who can they pay?
But they want us to pay our goddamn fair share. Get out of here. Get out of here. This is just it. And I want to know, who do you think has it worse? Like when you're in the military and you're enlisted, you're in service, you do your term, everything seems to be good, right? Just follow me on this picture. For some veterans, when they get out, their life falls to shit.
They've been conditioned.
Correct. Now, who has it worse? That conditioned veteran or that everyday civilian that has to deal with the everyday politics of healthcare, feeding their family? You know, the everyday battles and struggles that we deal with as civilians.
Okay, here's the thing: is you said a veteran, so you're saying this veteran is so you're basically taking one person that's getting out of the military.
Okay.
So you're basically, from your comparison, I just want to understand, they have no family to take care of besides themselves?
Let's say that they do, but they're estranged.
Okay, so they're separate from the family.
Correct.
Well, first of all, you know, as a former vet, that even if you're estranged from your family, your check doesn't even come to you; it goes to them.
Yeah.
So when you get out, Even that last check goes to them, not you.
But okay, so go back to the question.
So now, who's got it hard? To be honest with you, when you get out of the military in a situation like that, it's going to be the vet because he's still got to provide for that family.
Exactly. Now, what resources? Now, when you are getting out, you go through a long ass meeting where they tell you, okay, this is what you got to do. This is what you got to do. This is what you're going to be offered. This, that, and everything else. Okay, bye. Right?
Actually, no, you forgot one thing. Two organizations that you will see there when you're getting out: FBI and CIA. Oh, and NSA. Almost forgot them. Three organizations will be there to see if you want to sign up for the government. They come right at you as you're sitting there. You're doing what is your debriefing?
Debriefing. That's the word I was looking for.
So when you're doing that and you're sitting in that class for a few hours, and they come in, they do their spiel. Then they're sitting in the back and I'm like, hey, we got this opportunity. Like, we can keep this thing going. You want to be in the FBI? You want to be in the CIA? You're fresh out. We can get you started.
What are you going to do? What are your plans for yourself?
What are you going to do? I mean, it's kind of hard.
5 years.
What was your MOS or job specialty for you people? For everyone else, like, you
were a computer specialist. Oh, you were an analyst. We have a great position for you here. I think you might be interested in. Let me tell you what it's about. Yeah.
So when people say, well, they don't have opportunity, those are the opportunities they get. They don't get the big time corporations that you see now that are all crazy about hiring,
unless it's the private sector.
There you go.
But even the private sector is what?
Private.
But the private sector is also what?
Government.
Contracted. Exactly. Government contract. A lot of people don't think that. We're sending mercenaries over into Syria, Libya.
We have never stopped sending them. That's the thing. We've never stopped sending them. Thanks to a couple presidents ago, he shut down Cuba and then realized that was the biggest mistake he ever made. Because guess what? That just hyped up the hornet's nest for terrorism. Do you realize the crackdown on terrorism has stopped happening since then? It's not as easy anymore because we don't have the people we need to talk to. Wasn't a good idea. Didn't agree with it. But you know what them contractors are doing, right? You know what them contractors are doing? They are contracted to do things that the military can't do.
Legally.
Yes. Well, because of the also fortune Geneva Convention, which I'm not going to go into details on that and how I think that's a farce. I understand the purpose of it, but is what's going on in Israel right now, are they following Hamas? Are they following those rules? What's the United Nations doing? I was asked a question. My wife and I did a discussion. Remember the discussion we had? She said they're killing all these women and children and this, that, and the other, and nobody's doing anything about it. My thing to her was, and you can say you agree or you don't. What's the money of somebody stopping it? Where's the money in stopping it? Where's the money in stopping Hamas? All they're going to keep saying, you need to stop that right now. Now we got ships in the ocean ready to.
I got a better question for you. What at the end of the day, and I think we kind of talked about this a little bit. America being the big brother of the world, right? Like they got to look after all the smaller countries and this, that, and everything else. Oh, don't do this, don't do that. But they're not going to go into a conflict unless they see a benefit, a bigger picture.
Right, and here's the thing where I see, this is exactly why I'm not a politician, and I'm going to put this out there. Because if you look all over the internet, what does everybody say? Ha ha, America, oh, you guys got shootings and kids getting killed and stuff like that. But guess what? When they need money, can you like, can I loan about 50 billion? Oh no, but you was all laughing about what's going on in my country, but now you want to borrow money?
And
let me think about
what president you got in office, they're gonna give you the money too.
But let's not talk about the one that's in office right now.
That's why I said depending on what one.
I mean, he did. You know what? He did the ultimate gangster move. Shut down House and the Senate, Congress shut down Congress, then signed them over $500 trillion. I'm like, wait, hold up, how can you do that? Because nobody can stop him right there. I was like, come on, that was the most gangster move of any president. Sleepy Joe wasn't sleeping that time. He was not sleeping. He was wide awake when he did that. And you did perfect timing. Oh, they need money. Yeah, come on, America. Let's give them some more money. Wait, Congress. Oh, they shut down for right now. So I'll go ahead and take care of this. Don't worry about it. Just rack up another $500 trillion on top of whatever the deficit is. And give a bunch of IOUs to everybody else.
I better not get an IOU because I'm walking that bitch straight up into his office. Don't play with me. Don't play with me. And that's the thing about it. And that's why I asked, okay, so we brought up the question about resources available to veterans, right? Now, and I looked some up. There's a lot of resources that are available for veterans across the board, whether food-wise, health-wise, housing-wise, clothing-wise, utility-wise. There's a lot of resources. You know what the caveat is? It's not easily accessible unless you know what you're looking for.
And even
why is that?
Well, you got to remember,
why
even
is
then,
that?
You should be able to put the simplest word, utility help,
for veterans.
Yeah, for veterans, and then pop up. No, you put utility help for veterans, it'll bring up what is it? Norton,
yep.
Microsoft Word, all this other stuff.
Yep.
Wait, I just put in I wanted help with my utilities and I'm a veteran. Why can't it just be I can put in something that's simple and get what I need? Because they don't.
And the thing about it,
I don't want to say they don't care.
I do.
But I want to say
no. That's what I'm going to say.
There.
They don't care enough.
They don't care enough to make it easily available for these veterans. A lot of them, and I'll say this: there's a lot of grunts. And what I mean by that is the stompers, foot stompers. What
is the foot stomper?
So they're pretty much. They say they're the expendable ones. They're the ones that don't score high on the ASVAB. They just are the basic
infantry
infantry.
Yeah.
Or okay, as Marines, we say 0311. I just don't like to use that because y'all wouldn't know what I was talking about. But we'll say infantry. We can say that. And those are the ones, they're really front line. They're really the front of the front line. That's why they call them grunts.
You got your jarheads, yeah.
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 And every branch has grunts.
Yep.
Except for the Air Force.
Well, Air Force doesn't really do front line, really, unless
they do. Well, no, they have
unless it's the special op type thing, and they're
even
including other branches. Right. You know what I mean? So,
but things like that you got to think about, man. It's a lot of. I want to say I've been privileged to see. Like you said, look up and see the things that are available. But then what I also want people to understand, a lot of the movies that you're seeing too, that are telling you about what these veterans go through. Imagine going through some of that, seeing what they go through. PTSD is real, y'all.
It's real.
People don't understand the effect of it. And that's why a lot of homeless people are vets.
And that's why they're homeless, because they can't deal with the PTSD. They're constantly put in situations where it triggers. There's a trigger that happens and they freak out. The meds are too strong. And that's another thing about PTSD meds. Not even just PTSD meds, antidepressants, when it comes to, when you are dealing with the veteran, don't just drug them up and send them on their way. Please don't do that. That's not helping. It doesn't help.
Well, put it this way. It doesn't help the vet.
It doesn't.
It lines the pharmaceutical companies, but it does not help the vet. A lot of times the vet may not need a stronger dose of medication. Maybe it's the fact that they need someone to talk to. Hear them.
Develop coping skills.
Because what happens is when you're sitting and you're debriefing before you get out, they don't tell you they tell you, oh, there's plenty of resources for any help you need.
That's part.
You know how blanket of a statement that is?
Well, not only that. Let's go a little bit deeper on that one. I'm glad that let's stay there, but let's go a little bit deeper. How many veterans are actually paying attention to that 3.5 hour debriefing after they just spent 4 years in combat?
And all they're thinking about is going home, getting out.
Are they paying attention?
Actually, I take that back. You know what? I say that, but I think a lot of them, they're scared to leave. Because guess what?
What did they know?
For 4 years,
that's all they knew.
All they knew was I had to go. I had to eat I had to go to the chow hall.
You know what I just thought of?
At this time, with this time, and this time to eat, I have to be up at this time for training.
You know what that reminds me of?
What?
An institution.
That's why I said it that way.
It's just, and think about it. When you get locked up, what do they send you? To an institution. You're being reprogrammed. So what happens to a lot of people that spend 10, 20, 30 years in prison and get out?
And don't let it be wrongfully accused. They
don't know what to do.
And some of them end up, a lot of times they end up back.
They go right back.
And a lot of times it's not because, they did something wrong. It's just that they feel better on the inside than they do out. Because they've been there so long.
Outside, being outside is scary. It's a big world out there. You're not in control, or you don't have control like you did before when you didn't have control. It's kind of a conundrum, but if you think about it a little bit, all right, think about it. When you're locked up, you don't have control, right? So when you get out and you have that control, you feel like you still don't have control because you don't know what to do with yourself.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, you freaked the hell out of me there for a minute. I was like, what? You got control, you don't have control, but then you have
control. You do have control, but you don't. But then you realize you do.
It's the thought of running your own life.
Correct. That scares you.
When you had COs and
DOs,
running things, telling you what you need to do and when you need to do it. Same thing in the military. You have a platoon sergeant. You have a
drill sergeant.
OIC. You have all that
commanding
stuff
officer.
To tell you what you need to do, what your job is day to day. Some people are very lucky that their jobs, like if you work in motor transport, you're pretty good. That means you can work on vehicles. So when you get out, that's a very viable trade, working on vehicles, working on cars. You'll more likely get hired at some company, and then they'll train you on the cars that they want you to work on because you have the basics of the knowledge. You know how to repair things. You know how to fix. You know how to break something pretty much. I mean, you think about it. A lot of them do it trial and error. Oh, what's this axle? No,
I put this part together, but I got 3 bolts that's missing here.
Oh, let me see. Then they go to pull off, and all of a sudden the whole axle's coming off the car.
Oh, that's where it went.
Oh shoot, that's where those 3 nuts were.
But on that note, folks, stay tuned. We'll be right back. Just a real quick commercial break. We'll be right back.
Are you a business owner or someone looking for more ways and avenues to advertise and promote? Look no further. Contact us today for an advertisement. Email PD&J Media Productions LLC at gmail.com for more info. Promotions are everything. What are you waiting for? Hey you.
Me?
Yes, you.
What up?
Are you ready to take your brand to the next level?
Hell yeah.
GLM Designs can help you with just that.
Word?
From laptop skins,
You lying.
promotional flyers,
Yo, son.
promo videos,
I need that.
OBS Twitch overlays and backgrounds,
Hey, yo, let me get that.
professional one-sheets, and so much more.
Oh my God.
Please visit our
I'm on
website,
it right now.
GottaLoveMeWorld.com today to check out our designs.
Got it.
Follow us on social media at Gotta Love Me World.
Follow it.
GLM Designs are here to take care of all your graphic needs.
Welcome back, folks. Welcome back. Brand new episode. Pocket. I know there's a shout out you want to give out.
Yeah, I want to do a shout out to Abdul, our guest from last week. Go back and watch the show. And I have not gotten to finish the movie yet. I've been so busy. But I am going to get it done in the next few days. Actually, I'm going to try and get it done because I'm really intrigued to see the ending. Got halfway through.
Very interesting, dude. Very interesting take on a lot of things. Definitely go back and watch the last week's podcast.
I do want to say one thing. He's a witness, a living witness, showing that you don't necessarily need to go to film school to do things, certain things. People sometimes program with that, and that's how you get yourself in with months and years of debt, and then you're waiting on the government to send you a bailout for school. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm saying. And then it don't get approved, or it gets modified, and it gets triple modified.
I gotta send a shout out to Mike as well. Happy belated birthday, Mike. Mike.
If he's watching, yeah, I don't know if he's watching or not, but he might be still celebrating his birthday or having the birthday hangover.
He'll tune in.
Oh, he will.
He'll tune in if he's not watching.
But yeah,
But
shout
if
out.
he's already watching, happy birthday, my man.
And maybe the Bears will get another win
For his birthday?
Yeah.
Yeah. So back to our discussion that we had at hand, veterans. And you kind of brought something up that I wanted to kind of touch on real quick. Like, it blows my mind that we talk about resources that's there, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we don't talk about the people behind the resources. You understand what I'm saying? Like, the resource had to come from somewhere. So somebody saw that there was a need and did whatever they could to fill that need. Salute to you guys. The only problem that I have,
you have to do, what was I going to say? Publicize. You have to
not
advertise. That's what it is.
I wouldn't say advertise to the general public, but like, what is it? Veterans of Honor.
Mm-hmm.
I love them. I love them and what they do and what they stand for. And they have resources within resources. That's the great thing about Veterans of Honor. If you do, veterans that need help, whether it's housing, shelter, clothing, psychiatry, Veterans of Honor is a great resource for you to use.
That one, and then the POW MIA organization, they're not just for prisoners of war or missing in action.
Really?
No, they're not. They actually they deal with the families, of course, with that, as well as the people. But they deal with a lot more than that. They're kind of like Veterans of Honor, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just if you're a veteran, they don't turn you away. Just because you're not a POW, they're not going to turn you away. You know how many very few people were POWs?
Yeah.
And most of them are, gone on, with the exception of the ones that are, in Hamas, being held captive with Hamas and other places across the world, and being detained.
Got a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking, do you think first responders get better treatment than veterans?
No, they get worse.
You think first responders get worse than?
Yes.
Okay.
It's terrible. You got to remember, police are included in that.
Okay.
You have your fire department. You have your
I see firefighters and medics put on a pedestal.
I don't.
Over cops.
Well, I can understand them being on a pedestal, but they're not treated better.
You don't think
there's a difference. Being put on a pedestal and being how you're treated are two different things.
Okay, I'll give you that.
So, and how they're treated.
You think veterans right now are being treated better than our first responders are?
Yeah, I do.
That's an interesting take.
And here's another thing, because a lot of them, and my sister, one of my Victoria, she was a paramedic for years, and I could see the wear down of the PTSD on her. There's certain things that she saw as a paramedic that she would come crying home about, because it was just weighing on her, like seeing some things that happen to kids, burned up people, and torn apart bodies. And people don't understand
that plays a toll on your body.
Not on your mind.
Oh yeah, your
mind. I mean, you got to think. Seeing that again, it goes back to ties right back into PTSD and a lot of people. But now I will say that I think that field, the first responders, they understand what's more available to them because it's preached in there. It's ingrained in them.
Mm-hmm.
They know as a cop, if I shoot someone, I have to go see the department psychiatrist or whoever before I go on. Okay. Well, so and if anything you like traumatic, like an accident, the for fire department and for the paramedics, that stuff is readily available. Like they can literally just walk into the office. Veteran can't do that.
Now, the reason why I brought that up is because at the end of the day, when we're talking about, the disadvantages of being a veteran, I'm not saying that all veterans are at a disadvantage. I'm not saying that. There's certain veterans that kind of kept it going. You know what I mean? We still don't know what they're dealing with internally, mentally, but they were able to keep it going. What I am referring to and who I am referring to specifically is the ones that's fallen, are fallen veterans, right?
Fallen soldiers, they're effectively called, because they don't want to call them veterans because they look at them they still have that soldier mentality, so they still call them fallen soldiers. In case y'all didn't know that, that's why you never hear that term fallen veterans, because they're still considered soldiers because of the mentality that they have. They're still programmed. They haven't been deprogrammed. They haven't had the opportunity to unwind.
You got certain soldiers that think that we're still in conflict right now.
Yeah. You got some soldiers that the sound of a firecracker and
yes,
they
yes,
under
yes,
the car trying
yes,
to grab everybody. Get down,
yes.
get down.
Especially if it's something unexpected. Like 4th of July, I know a lot of veterans, they lock themselves up, right? They're like, I know what's about to happen, this, that, and everything else. But the ones I'm talking about is the stupid individuals that you got a next door neighbor who just, for whatever reason, wants to pop off a firecracker. It's not a holiday or no specific reason, just randomly pops off. Oh, you're in for some trouble.
Oh, Canelo won.
For some trouble because you don't know that veteran with depending on what their MOS was.
Or not even their MOS, because the thing is, no matter MOS, you could always end up in combat.
Yeah, yes, yeah.
I will tell you one thing that's for sure.
When
with,
you go
with the
through
Marines,
basics,
with the Marines, you are trained to be a shooter first, a rifleman first,
yep.
And then you're trained with your specific job. So guess what? If the fault line falters, guess who's going out there next?
It does the exact same thing a little bit differently. Like you got your 9 weeks of basic, and that's when they teach you rifling and the basics, right? Then you got your 9 weeks of AIT, so you got a total of 18 weeks.
Yeah, what you have? Well, it's changed, but it was
18 or 14.
It's 11 weeks of basic, and then after that you go to combat training, which basically is the same thing, but combat training really gets into you are definitely a rifleman first. They're showing you different tricks of the trade.
Okay.
Yeah, tricks of the trade. And then once you graduate there, then you're going to your specialty, your job.
So how long is it for a Marine? Before
you get to the field?
Yeah.
It's at least
6 months?
About 9 months.
9 months.
Yeah. Oh, depending on your job, because some jobs, I mean,
I'm not too familiar with the Marines. Like I know a little bit about each branch, but I'm more familiar with the Army. I grew up in Army. You know what I mean? My father-in-law, and a couple other people I know are Marines, and then everybody else that I know that served as Navy. But yeah.
Ricky was a Marine and Ronnie was in the Navy.
And you know what they don't do anymore that they used to do back in the day? You could be in two branches. They don't let you do that no more.
You come on at the same time.
Yeah, because you got some people they join as a Marine, right? But when they retire Navy.
Well, no. So here's what happened. So, because I had somebody that went to basic training with me. He went in the Navy.
Okay.
And then when he got out, he didn't like what he saw, and he said, "Well, I want to try and be a Marine." He signed up to be a Marine, but he'd already been out of the Navy. You can't. Can't serve it. I see. You can't serve at the same time, but before the age of 35, you can sign up for another branch.
But back in the day, I'm talking about like World War I, World War II.
But here's the crazy thing.
Two branches.
Here's the crazy thing, which not many people know, that as a Marine, if you go to any other branch, you keep your rank. A lot of people don't know that. Or in some cases, if you go into the Army, you end up going 2 ranks up. Now, if you go into the Marines from another branch, you don't keep your rank. You don't even keep equal to. You don't even go up. You go down in rank. That I know has not changed, and that's kind of funny to me when I think about that. I was like, so why would you penalize somebody for wanting to come? Like, no, they're saying you haven't been in our shoes to earn that. Marine. Yeah, exactly. They say you haven't been in our shoes to earn that rank. But when it comes to the officers, guess where they go to school?
Same school.
They go to the Navy.
Yeah.
Even though they sign up for Marine, they go to the Navy for a few years, graduate there, then they do their 6 years as an officer. Giving y'all a little history here, not a little history. Yeah, actually, a little history, how it works. Only because it's stuff, been through. But again, coming back to the veterans, I just want to do the shout out of saying, we thank each and every one of you. Yes, I'm a veteran as well. He's a veteran as well. But we thank all of you that paved the path for us to be where we are right now.
I got to give, and since you said that, I want to give a special shout out to my mom, who's a veteran in her own right. She did her thing for, God, I want to say more than 14 years. More than 14 years. I definitely know it was more than 14 years. Thank you. Because you paved the way of discipline, paved the way of honor. You paved the way of life into me personally. So I just want to say thank
She
you.
ain't done with your ass yet. Oh, my bad. I said it a lot.
Thank you, Mama. Thank you.
She got that belt waiting on you to get to the house now.
Shit, I'm not at this age. I'm sorry. No, not at this age.
But you know, I just went, and then also, now here's another thing people get confused: Memorial Day and Veterans Day.
Yeah, 2 different days.
Veterans Day is for everyone that served. Write this down, y'all. Matter of fact, we might make a clip right here. Veterans Day is for everyone that served. Okay? Veterans Day is for everyone that served. Now, Memorial Day is for those that have gone on. So don't
pass on.
I don't like to say pass. I just say gone on. They went on the other side. That's Memorial Day. They went to the upper room or downtown, whichever one they went to. But they ain't here no more. So whenever anybody has said, whenever you say Happy Memorial Day to me, I quickly want to tell you, no. I'm a veteran. I'm not dead. I'm here. Don't put that juju on me.
I still text him. He's my brother, and I still text him Happy Memorial Day.
And I tell him the same damn
But
thing.
he knows what I mean by that. It don't mean it to him specifically. I meant it as far as him and his family, like his brother. Yeah.
My brother, my father, like they all served. We all served. I have a nephew that served. I have my brother-in-law served. Wow, there's a lot of people in my family that served. I have a brother that served and he died while
My
he served.
mom, my dad, uncles.
There's a lot in my family.
Yeah, I'm trying to
But-
think. Oh my God, there's so many.
But you know what? And then continuously, and then also what I'm always enamored with, and I like to always celebrate that they haven't done yet, which I'm going to look this up. Who was? No, we do know. Never mind.
Who was what?
First person of color in the military.
Oh,
We know that from
yeah, he
back when
got
Francis
killed.
Scott Key.
So, what have we learned from today's episode, folks? Well, treat your veterans better. We love you. We appreciate your service.
Actually, you know what? I'm not going to say treat them better per se.
I'm
What I'm going to say is
listening.
that right there. Listen, that's all they want to do is be heard. A lot of times, you just sitting there and just listening to them can change their whole outlook, can change their whole demeanor.
And you don't know, maybe you might be inspired by one of them because they do have, I know a lot of veterans, old school veterans that got some good stories. They got some great stories to tell you.
And they love to talk about. Matter of fact, y'all can go to visit your this weekend if you have a chance in Phoenix. There is the parade, but I want to take y'all up a notch. I want you to try and visit your local VFW. What is that? Well, that's where the veterans all
Hang out. It's like the Elks and the Legion, and it's a lodge.
It's a lodge where all the veterans hang out, and if you want to hear some stories, they'll entertain you.
Buy them a drink, play some bid with them.
Yeah, they play some spades with them.
Yeah.
Right? And I mentioned spades because in my house on Thanksgiving,
Nah, don't do it, Ty.
all of you that don't know, you better start going online and learning. I'm just saying it right now. This year, Thanksgiving, I got the wheels are turning. We're gonna do some new stuff. We're gonna play some board games and all kinds of crazy stuff. That's what we're doing in my house. So if you're coming, be prepared. We kind of take it differently. We'll have the football on like we normally do, talking shit about football and getting ready for the fight. I think was it the next day or Saturday. But
I hope I don't see the Lions versus the Commanders this year.
I don't know if the Lions are playing, but the Lions, I mean, they're
They're playing good, but every year for Thanksgiving we see, and it's crazy. Before they turned it to the Commanders, it was the Redskins versus the
Cowboys
or the Cowboys.
Yeah, then
Cowboys versus Indians. Like really for Thanksgiving, really?
If that wasn't racist, I don't know what that was. I just say it all the time. I was like, Cowboys and Indians, really? Y'all couldn't think of nothing better to do, especially when they were both doing bad.
That was some racist shit right there.
That was like, man, y'all really went in the woo.
But there's no racism in states.
Yeah, according to the percent of the 80%, or wait,
17% of the 80%.
The 80% of the 17%.
Oh, okay.
There is no racism. We made it up. Just like we're waiting for the. Remember what's funny to me? I know this is totally not about veterans, and I thought about this just now. Do you know that was it last month or the month before they kept saying they were going to release the proof of aliens?
Yeah.
But what was going on at that same time?
What was going on at that time? Help me remember.
There was a conflict brewing.
Okay.
The conflict of your boy in office and his son, and all of a sudden, whatever they can do to deflect, they will do. Like, who the hell cares about aliens? We know there's aliens. I look at people I'm not even gonna go there. All right, I will. I see people all the time that they can't be from here.
Shut
I'm
up.
just saying.
Shut it up. I gotta try to filter this man because he's about to get his shut off. Shut it up.
They ain't from here, bro.
But hey, don't put him on blast.
I'm not calling out names. I'm just saying they just ain't from here. There's just no way in hell. Oh, maybe they could be from there. But that would make them an alien.
The port of hell?
Hey, could be.
Yes, folks, if you didn't know, you could go on a cruise and go to hell. Literally.
Oh, did you see the thing that's now circling the internet about the miners that found the gate to hell and they came running back? I was like, why would you dig so deep?
On that note, folks, I'm done. I'm good. I'm good.
Dig so deep.
I'm good.
Let's just
stop doing this with you.
I'm just saying. Like, oh, I found a tunnel. Let me keep going. Uh-oh, what's all this going on? Oh, it's shaking. I hear people screaming. Oh, maybe we need to stop. No, let's keep going. Like really? Come on, y'all. I don't understand people sometimes.
When people don't understand you.
They're not supposed to. I'm supposed to understand them. For me to understand them, they don't need to understand me. That's the intrigue.
Well, folks, I hope you did enjoy this week's episode. To all our veterans that's out there, we love you. We support you. If you need help, don't be afraid to ask.
I don't know the number for the helpline. I'm not even going to try that. But you can go to your local, you can go anywhere as a veteran and tell them you need help, and you just tell them you're a veteran, you need help, and I guarantee they'll get you whatever you need.
Oh, and this Veterans Day to all restaurants that's out there, small business and big chains, open your doors up to the homeless veterans and give them a meal this year.
If you don't already. I know some of the veterans, they still carry the papers because they know
they could go somewhere and get a meal. Yeah.
But actually, not just one meal.
Continuously.
You can go to IHOP, get breakfast, go somewhere else, get lunch, go somewhere else and get dinner.
Yeah.
And then go somewhere else and get something else and then have it for the next couple of days. I mean, like we always say, like we always think, you don't, when you're homeless, they really don't know where the next meal's coming from. And unfortunately, with the society we live in, and I totally get it, you have to have a food handler's card to even give them food, unless it's from a restaurant and you can see it.
Not even a food handler's card. Like you have to be a part of an organization. Like if you go out and just, let's say that you work in a fast food restaurant, right? You're a manager of a fast food restaurant. Let's just say Popeyes, right? You got all this excess chicken at the end of the night, right? You're not going to throw it away, at least not all of it, right? What you going to do? I'm going to box some of it up and feed the homeless. Wrong. You get caught. you'll get a big ticket for it, which is stupid to me. I mean, I understand from the outside looking in, you don't know what you're giving these people, and you can harm them that way. They can have an allergic reaction. I mean, I get it all, but some people have genuinely good hearts.
But here's the thing, though. That's why a lot of those. Well, I don't know if they still do it, but I know some of the fast food places what they'll do. They'll put all the, well, there was a 7-Eleven. I remember it was 7-Eleven that they do this. They'll take all the excess food after a certain amount of time, put it into a garbage bag, just food in this garbage bag. And then they'll tell the homeless people, hey, come around back and I'll give you this trash bag of food.
You know, when I worked for Red Lobster, what we did.
Did you guys do that too?
No, what we did is that like certain seafood you can't dispose of. So they would donate it to like St. Vincent de Paul or something like that. And they would use it as a meal for that night or whatever case may be, which is understandable. But a lot of people can't get into St. Vincent de Paul because once the food is gone, the food is gone. You know what I mean?
You know what? Mentioning churches.
I've said Popeyes, but you brought up churches.
I'm thinking about actual churches.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
St. Vincent de Paul. I want to say this. Those of you that are local pastors, wherever that locality is, do better. I'm going to say that because some of y'all will sit there, a homeless person comes to you for help. Oh, you're not a member. Oh, you were a member at one time. Well, what were you paying in tithes? Last I checked, number one, who did Jesus hang out with the most? Where did he sleep among? Number two, I'm quite sure you were not always
higher than now.
And number three, what happened to the humility and being humble? I don't see it. I really don't. I really don't. And that's because I don't understand what the modern day preacher is thinking. You just think you throw on a garment and you can get on a pulpit and talk to God's flock, because it's not yours. That's another thing. You call it your flock. You're talking to God's people, not your people. Thinking you can do that, you get a little collection money, and then when somebody needs help, you don't help. You do everything you can not, or you make them jump through hoops. You could give them a job in your church, if it's just cleaning pews after service.
Yeah, like you know how some churches they do a benevolent fund where it's like, okay, if you need help with a utility, if you need help with a utility or if your rent's past due, don't you know that these churches wait until you got a 5-day eviction notice and then make you fill out a packet of this much information and you still know, and they only give you $500 to $700.
You need
$500 to $700.
You
might need $2,500 to pay your rent.
So churches
do better.
Get back to the basics.
Do better.
Get back to the basics of being. That's why the churches are hurting, because you don't do what you're supposed to.
That money's not yours. That money is supposed to go back into the
church, back into the church and the community that the church was in. But that's going to be a very big topic, probably in December. So I'm thinking around then. That's where I'm going to take the gloves off. I'm going to dive into the modern day church. The modern day.
Y'all done put Pocket on the pedestal. He's on the soapbox. Anyway, folks, what an episode it's been. Happy Veterans Day coming up to all the veterans that's out there. We love you. We support you.
Next week's a special show.
Oh, next week we got a special guest coming through. Another actor, another producer, another story writer. He has a very interesting story to tell. Very. Out of Cleveland, Ohio. So all my Cleveland folks, pack in.
Then also we're going to be celebrating because I got a birthday the next day. So we're celebrating hard on that show.
So folks, until then.
I might have my wife pop out a cake for me.
Till next week, folks. We'll see you. Why you always got to bring up the goddamn cake?
Okay.
You just said you was bringing up the cake.
What quiz are we talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
If you don't know what you're talking about.
I don't think they